So I go out for a run and I just run, and then I can't walk for a week. And so I've never done the class. So what I was wondering, Steve, was sort of some recommendations for, maintaining fitness on the road, whether that means a conference certification or that sort of thing.
You guys can all hear me okay, right? I like talking with my hands and have the microphone. I would say for that, the best thing is just body weight calisthenics. The question I have for all of you is, how many of you augment your cycling or whatever sport you do with some kind of strength training? All right. What's that? Push-ups? Yeah, absolutely. So, as a trainer, if I'm going to have somebody start strength training and they've never done it before, I would have them do just all body weight exercises for about a month. Because if you can't do it with your body weight, there's not any reason to add any weight on whatsoever. And that's a big trap a lot of people fall into, especially dudes, where, they want to load up the bar with a lot of heavy weight, and they just keep on working up, and they start off with this very nice looking squat, and then by the time they're done, their squat looks like this. Because they don't want to take any of those weights off to continue to work on their form. And if you keep on putting heavier and heavier weight on, you just end up with a lot of, or can end up with a lot of dysfunction. So I would say, if you're coming to a conference, just do body weight calisthenics. Simple things like squats, push-ups, and an exercise is called a tabletop for your back, where if you don't have a pull-up bar, it's difficult to do exercises for your back if you have a pull-up bar or a weight. But just very simple things like squatting up and down, or getting down the ground and doing some proper push-ups, or the other exercise I mentioned, which was the tabletop, where you're just going up and down this way, working on the back side of your body. If you do 10 of each of those exercises in a row, you'll be huffing and puffing right away. You're getting up and down off the ground, and you're working on these very primal patterns, if you will. Because when you're a child, you're up and down off the ground. And if you look at the way, just use this as an example, if you told a kid to go and pick something up, they do this, and they pick it up. But yet, as adults, we get further and further away from the ground. And we look down there and we're like, damn, that's a long way to go. And then we're like, okay, well, I'm going to start there. Oh my God, I got to get my legs all the way down there. So what happens is then we let our back do it. And that's basically what happens to us the older and older we get. And I see this with every single person that I train, is that even when they're getting good and they get down to about here, if they can't quite make it to grab it, what happens is they don't drop lower in their legs. They've just been conditioned to use the back to do it. So if you do train with weights, and you go away on a vacation, take a vacation from your regular weight training routine, get back into learning the basic patterns through body weight stuff, and then when you go back to your regular training, you will be stronger. Whenever I take a week off of lifting weights and just do body weight, or, I don't know, like play paddleball or more frisbee golf or something like that, when I come back, I'm always stronger, and I always feel better. And when I used to train in a more sort of bodybuilding type manner, that didn't happen, because I would always just be trying to lift heavier and heavier and heavier weights. Eventually you kind of get to a maximum, and if you don't let yourself go back, heal a little bit, get your form better before you make your next push, then you end up getting trapped into just getting worse and worse and worse form-wise. And there are many, many ways to make your body seem heavier. If you find that regular push-ups aren't hard enough, then just put your feet up on a chair. If you find that regular push-ups are too difficult, then you can just do push-ups on a chair. If you find that those are too difficult, you can do push-ups against the wall or on the counter. And the most important thing when you train is not numbers. And a lot of people really get into this idea that they want to get an intense workout, they want to go to a boot camp. And I used to train boot camps, and this is what I would notice, is I would start off with a group like this, and then 3 weeks later, there'd be like that slice there left. And with these 20 people, as a trainer, it's very difficult to get everybody's technique really good, because you're having to go up and down this line all the time. The exercises are switching around, and they would just end up hurting themselves because they want to get a good workout. And for most people, the idea of a good workout is I should be completely dead by the end of that workout. But if you don't take time to sometimes go back and just work on the basics of your form, those people end up dropping off and getting injured, and the ones who last the longest are the ones who are smart about it. If you look at Olympic weightlifter, for example, those guys are lifting weights above their head that could kill them. So we should take lessons from them. If we train the way they do and put safety first, we can get ourselves to some pretty amazing levels of strength, but because we put safety first and form first, we end up getting injured less. And the way the human body is designed, it's designed to bear load in a certain form. And if I'm like this, my back is going to be what limits me, not my legs. If I'm going to squat like this with a bar on my back. So having perfect bulletproof form is in the end of the day going to make you stronger and more resistant to injury. So kind of went off a little bit there, but just from what we were talking about before, if you go away, just take a break from your regular routine and just try to find ways to get back to the sort of initial core exercises, work on your flexibility and your mobility, and I guarantee you when you go back to your regular routine, it will feel completely different, you'll feel refreshed, and you'll be a lot stronger than you were when you go back.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who, because I always find with exercise, it's hard to find a specific period of time in the day that I can do it, like, because you need a kind of a longer period, like an hour and a half. Does anyone have kind of a way, or they've kind of to break it up throughout the day? That's my thing, is like, I never really have an hour a day that I can go do something.
Your heart can't tell the difference between 3 10-minute cardio workouts and 1 half-an-hour one, as far as the benefit that it does to your body. The only difference is, if I want to train to be a long-distance runner, I'm not going to be able to do only sprinting, and that's not going to carry over, because we get good at what we do. But as far as making your heart healthy, you can do short bursts of high intensity a number of times throughout the day, and you will get exactly the same benefits to your heart as you would if you were doing something longer term. And that's like with anything. If you do a more short, intense weight training workout, you're just putting less reps in there. You just have to work, again, harder on your form because you're raising your intensity in a shorter period of time. But you can, for me, my workouts are usually between 20 minutes, and at the very top, I'll work out an hour maybe once a week, and that's if I'm doing very heavy lifting. I have to take way more rest in between because I have to have that amount of time to recover. But if I'm doing like a technique practice day with lighter weight, I can be in and out in about 20 minutes to half an hour.